So some of the mobile strategies that are out there, I think there's four main strategies that we specifically talk about when we talk to our clients. And I'm going to bring Ryan back out here, and Ryan's going to go over these four strategies for you.
Thanks, Patrick. Hello, hello, can you hear me? There we go. Thank you. Mobile strategies, yes, there's four of them. Some say four, some say three. I usually throw one right off the table when we start talking, because one's not really a strategy, it's a lack of strategy. It's what we call web-friendly. This is a web-friendly website. This is Dell. You probably wouldn't know it's Dell if I didn't tell you. Logo's small, pictures are small, it's really hard to read, you can't really see what's going on. Your fingers, like he was talking about design for thumbs, you can't click on anything. So you gotta do the whole zoom and pan, and it's kind of a frustrating experience. That's web-friendly. It's just there because you have a site and it's being loaded on a phone. It doesn't make it mobile. It's not really a strategy. It's a lack of strategy. So when we talk strategies, we just really talk about these three. Native applications, dedicated websites, and responsive websites. Native apps, that's what you're all familiar with. That's, when you go, gotta get my apps on my phone. That's what we call native applications. That's when you go to like the iTunes store or the Android store and you download something physical to your phone. And applications are really good for some things. For example, if I need to control my slides on a phone, that's a really good use for an application. If you need to engage your customers that are already your customers, applications are a viable candidate because you actually have to ask them to go to the store and download your product. And they don't know about you, they're not going to download your stuff. It's hard to stumble across applications. They're also really good at delivering experiences that you need features on the phone for. So, for example, if you need to use the camera to scan QR codes as part of your application, or if you need to use the GPS in it for some stuff, or the accelerometer, applications are good. But there's drawbacks too. The primary one is usually cost. Applications are typically much more expensive. On average, an iPhone application could run in the middle of 20 grand somewhere, on average. And that's just for an iPhone application. The big problem with apps is you actually have to develop one for every single platform. So if you make one for the Apple store, good. But do you have to make one for the Android store? Double your cost, almost. And then, is that getting everyone in the room? There are BlackBerry users out here. What about Windows that we keep hearing about? Do you have to build an application for that now? Do you have to build one for BlackBerry? The costs kind of get more complicated. You're still designing for only specific devices after they jump the barrier to get it. So that's what native apps are. And they're not really, they're mobile strategies in the idea that you're delivering an application to a phone, but they're not mobile web strategies. The two mobile web strategies that we usually talk about are dedicated websites and responsive websites. Dedicated websites at first kind of look like an app. They're designed very specifically for a medium that's smaller. This is HU Kelowna that Jason was sharing with you guys earlier. It's, the text is easy to read, pictures load, you can scroll down up here. Navigation is usually like a little drop-down box in the top right. You can get to it. Come on, do it. Do it. Click on links, yada yada. See, I don't do live stuff, I record just in case things go wrong. Because they do. Anyways, so this is a dedicated website, but what's unique about dedicated websites, even though they look really good on a mobile device, is they're two different properties. So on the right is Vista Radio's HQ Kelowna, which is your traditional desktop experience. On your left is the mobile experience. They both look great in the platforms that they were designed for, but they're also two different systems. They're two different places where you have to push content. You have to worry about your content structure. Fortunately for Vista, they have a CMS system that pushes what we call multi-site CMS, so it pushes content to multiple platforms at once, but that's usually not the case. So you have to worry about content. You have to worry about upgrades. If you have multiple properties, when you need to upgrade them, do you update all of them? If you want to do a rebrand, do you rebrand all of them? And what about tomorrow? What about the next screen size? So the left looks really good on really small handsets like this. The right looks great on traditional 1024 pixel wide desktops. What about really wide screens? What about TV screens? What about projectors? What about the iPad mini? What about what next coming tomorrow? Those words are backwards. That's kind of what responsive tries to do. At first glance, responsive looks like a dedicated website. Fits into a phone, easy to scroll, and it looks just like the HQ experience. It has the same buttons, same layout, same great features that make it work. The thing that's really unique, and I'm going to show Starbucks here, that's really unique about responsive websites, I'm not sure if many of you have seen this before, has this ability to shift. So as I grab the side of the Starbucks window here, and I bring it in, you're going to start seeing the site adapt, respond to the viewing plane that's in. So we went from a full dedicated desktop website to a mobile site. And the really interesting thing is it did everything in between. So if you have a certain width on your iPhone, or a certain width on your Galaxy, or your Note, or your iPad Mini, your monitor at home, it responds to all of those different widths. And it's one domain name that you have to position, it's one platform or CMS that you're running, and it's one design, and one place you have to post content. Very cost efficient long term. But at the end of the day, it's about picking the right tool for the goals that you're trying to align with. It's not always about one or the other. Sometimes it's multiple, sometimes it's all three. You might need a responsive site and you want an application to do a loyalty program for customers that you already have. There's value in that. But at the end of the day, you only have so many resources and so many dollars, and you have to pick which aligns with which. And that's where it gets tricky. And that's where we're going to bring Patrick and Nikki back up to talk about some case studies, some experiences we had going through the decision-making process to find which sites work best where. So I'm going to welcome Patrick back up.